Hey guys, it's Robin here from Team Foxer, and in today's video we're having a look at another review of a torch from ThruNite, this time the TC15. It's quite a new product on the market, and let's face it, it's got some pretty stiff competition. They very kindly sent me this product to be able to use, test, review and actually keep. So I'm going to give you a brief overview of the features, the box contents and some clips of the product in use, and then at the end I'm going to give you a very honest review. If you're in the market for a product such as this, you will find a link in the description below as always. Right, let's have a look in the box and have a look at some of the features of this torch.
As with most products such as this, you just need to simply remove the battery tab, as the battery is already pre-installed. The initial look and feel of the torch is quite impressive, though it doesn't have a tail cap switch, which I am a fan of. It does have the XHP 35 LED, so it's going to be pretty bright. The on-off switch isn't raised a great deal, but it is bezeled to prevent accidental turning on. Putting the torch aside for a second, in the box you have your instructions, your USB cable, which is a micro USB configuration, a pocket clip, which is extremely tough metal. It seems like it's going to be very hard wearing, this clip, and then you've got a little bag which contains your lanyard, wrist lanyard, and you've actually got a couple of spare O-rings along with 2 spare USB covers as well, which is a nice touch. The pouch that comes supplied is quite decent. It's got a good sized belt loop if you've got a tactical style belt, and it also has a D-ring as well, enabling you to clip it onto bags and so on and so forth. The torch itself measures just under 5 inches long, or 123 millimeters, and it's not too heavy either, weighing in at just 120 grams or 4 ounces. The exterior is made from T6 hardened anodized alloy. The product itself is IPX8 rated, therefore it has a drop and waterproof rating of 1.5 and 2 meters respectively, so it'll take a little knock. Although here you can see it did sustain a small amount of cosmetic damage to the alloy, but it's nice to know it will be safe if you happen to, I don't know, drop it in the sink. The battery itself is an 18650 IMR high capacity battery with 3100 mAh, and you'll get 2300 lumens for 2 minutes before it steps down to 820 lumens. It will run at that power level for about an hour and 20 minutes before you need to recharge. Incidentally, the power button also doubles up as your battery indicator. Charging, as you would expect, is simply easy enough. Expose the USB charging port, plug your USB lead into the wall, stick it in the port on the torch and turn the unit on. The indicator contained within the power button will let you know the status of your charging. It will go red as soon as you turn it on, and it will simply turn blue when you're fully charged and ready to go. The torch has 6 different power settings. Turbo mode, that's the full 2 minutes of the 2300 lumens, which then steps down, is insanely bright. You then have the standard high mode, which is a slightly more modest 1050 lumens with a runtime of 90 minutes. That's probably the one most people will use the majority of the time. Medium mode is 250 lumens with a runtime of 6.5 hours. Again, it's perfectly bright for finding stuff. Low mode, a very low 25 lumen setting, good for camping in the tent and that sort of environment. Firefly mode is quite handy. It's also referred to as moonlight mode in other brands of torches. You then have a strobe mode, 830 lumens, which will run for 180 minutes.
So in summary, it's an impressive little torch. The 2300 looming power setting is incredibly bright, probably brighter than the lights on my truck. And although it only lasts for a couple of minutes, if you just very quickly need to find something outside, this will pretty much turn the night time into daylight. So for that, it's very handy. And of course, it's going to have a multitude of purposes. So it's going to be very good for things like camping, hunting, hiking, etc, etc. In the drop test, it flickered when it hit the deck, as it did in the sink when I did the water test and I banged it. I'm not too sure whether that's a safety feature of some description or whether that was just a very momentary lapse of power, so a loss of connection between the battery and the terminals. But it didn't affect the operation of the torch, and it still works perfectly well afterwards and during, as I moved it around quite considerably in the water. So clearly it's good to know that it has some robustness to it. Personally, I would prefer a more prominent power button. It's easy enough to find in the daytime and stuff, but I personally don't think it has a great deal of feel. So when you're out at night time, and in particular when you've got gloves on, you know, I'm a bigger fan personally of a power button being on the back of the torch, because that's how I like to hold mine. But you can effectively get around that if you install the clip and put that on the reverse or even on the side of the power button. It will make finding that button easier in the dark. Plus, I suppose you've got the added advantage of having not got a magnetic charging cap like some torches. It's not going to stick to things in your pocket like your keys or other metal objects. So is it worth the money? Well, it's pretty reasonably priced. I think here in the UK at the moment it's around £50, and in the US I think it's around $60. But please check the link in the description for your up-to-date pricing in your respective countries. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this video useful in some kind of way. If you did and you're stopping by for the first time and you want to, please subscribe. For now, take care, stay safe, and as always, happy shooting.